Monday. Hi, the amazing Rick. Hello, Marie. Hi, Jojo. Shelly. Hi, Bob. Hi, Lonnie. Hi, Dan. Hi, Jonathan. Good morning, Jim. Hey, I'm on club, log on and win the day. We're just letting everyone know. Hey, I'm morning club, log on and win the day. Hey, good morning, Mercy. Good morning, Emil. Hi, Rick. Good morning. Hey, I'm morning club, log on and win the day. Because it was up, more two tips, trends all free, no fluff. 30 minutes daily, that's more than enough. From therapy to gas day, I pros, plug in, level up, and watch your biz grow. Hey, I'm morning club. Log on with the day. Good morning, Jojo. Good morning, AI Morning Club. Happy Finish Strong Friday. Good morning, Ignite fam, Launchpad fam, Driven fam, and all you brilliant early risers across the globe. We've had quite the lineup this week in birthday week. Monday prayer kicks off with the state of AI, empowered, powerful cloud skill prompts for smarter output. Tuesday, Emma taught us how to study and learn inside ChatGPT faster, deeper, and smarter. Wednesday, we went full AI Jeopardy mode with Angie with some birthday fun. Thursday, Russell showed us how to do scroll-stopping content using AI. And now it's Friday, time to finish strong. Today, we're joined by one of our beloved Ignited chapter leads, the amazing Laura Betterly, who's showing us how to use AI, speak in any voice you need, whether you're crafting compelling copy, replying to tough clients, or channeling your brand's dream persona. This session is a masterclass in voice versatility. So let's get ready to level up our tone shifting game. Also, before we start, if you're watching this and want to join future Zoom calls or join us now, you can join at aimorningclub.com/live. If you want to catch the live streams, we're currently streaming live at facebook.com/the Belcher. With that said, Laura, take it away.
Well, good morning, everybody. So I'm finishing at the last minute. Just so you know, I was going to do this morning. I'm actually working on something really amazing for everybody. So I'm taking over today, and I am so pleased to be here. You'll see that my cat will show up because she has she can smell us from 1,000 feet away. So anyway, I'm going to go. I did a little presentation here, and it's basically called how to use AI to write copy that doesn't sound like AI. And I actually started to I'm trying to I just sent a request to share for some reason.
Yes, you may. Can you try?
Yeah, I'm not yeah, okay, there we go. So anyway, I wanted to actually just call this how to use AI copy that doesn't stop bigger and keep it nice. So look, I'm gonna first of all, I want to get the chat up here at the same time. So, show of hands, how many people have written something in AI and it came out sounding like a robot or robot had a baby with a LinkedIn influencer? Because it's happened to me too. And yeah, and it's really funny because I don't know about you, but I see a lot of people, especially who are not familiar with AI in general, will be able to call out AI very easily because it does sound like a robot, and here's the thing, it's not set up correctly. Um, so AI can write incredible copy, but and better than most copywriters, to be honest with you, but only if you know how to use it correctly. And, but out of the box, ChatGPT and Claude sound like every other piece of AI flooding the internet right now. It's generic, polished, so and if your copy sounds like AI, people tone out, and they just know that that's what you're doing. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten replies to my emails, which I have trained to be written by AI, and they're like, "Oh my god, that was so good, that worked to me," and whatnot. But you gotta be able to feed in the right information for AI to give you the right information back. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to get AI to write a copy that sounds human. Is that okay with everybody? You know? And you made copy that connects, copy that converts, copy that doesn't make people roll their eyes, and, whatnot. Okay, there we go. So you're gonna see my actual process. So there's 3 reasons why AI copy sounds like AI. But let's break down the problem because before we fix it, you gotta understand why most AI copy sounds crap. And there are 3 reasons. First, you're just not giving it enough context. Most people just say, "Write me an email about my product," but that's not enough. You have to know who you're writing to, what their pain is, and why your solution matters. And I'm gonna take a few seconds here to go over something that I have been doing before AI. I mean, this is something if you have a business and you do any sort of marketing or any sort of communication, there's 2 things you have to understand. One is exactly who you're talking. What are their pain points? What do they feel about an area? So you need to really, really understand who you're talking to and everything about that person because then you'll be able to actually speak to them. So that's the first piece. The second piece of it is actually finding a voice or an identity that actually resonates to that particular, you want to say avatar or person. But you look at it, we talk generically about avatars. We're talking to humans, we're talking to people. And if you're talking to a person, they don't care about our stuff, they don't care about how great we are. They just want to know what's in it for them. And if you know how they're feeling emotionally about something, you can make we would go in the mall, with clipboards, because I've been doing this, like almost before the internet, which actually makes me a dinosaur, but that's another story for another time. But the truth of the matter is that when you're talking one on one to somebody, they're likely to give you an answer to a question that they think you might want to hear as opposed to what they're really feeling. And the way to find out how they're really feeling is to go out and look at things like Reddit and Amazon reviews, places that they can complain and places they can complain anonymously. You're going to get more information about somebody, you know, uh, by seeing that than you ever could by calling up and saying, "I'm doing a market study on blah blah blah. How do you feel about that?" You know what I mean? Like you really get really what they're feeling. And okay, Daryl, what's the internet? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat at the same time. So the first thing you want to know is who you're writing to, what their pain is, and why your solution matters. So if you are in Ignite, you have access to Perry Belcher's Master GPT. And in there is an avatar writer, and you can just, if you want, this is the big thing, you can go avatar, and you can see there's a brand builder. There's a whole bunch of different, um, yeah, client avatar creator, on and on and on. So you can do that to help put these things together and have exactly about that. Now, what I did was I did that, and plus I did a whole bunch of deep research. Now we're talking about my newsletter. It's Agency Insider. I'll show you how I put it together and how I put it together. It's a and again, there's the quick way to do it. You do a quick avatar. At least you know who you're talking to, and that's what we want to start with. But if you want to really get deep, we can get deep. But we only have 20 minutes here, so I'm going to do as best as I can. So anyway, AI without that context, just guessing, it's generic. So you're not training it on a voice. And again, like I said, AI doesn't have a personality. And look, if you're talking to moms, you can't talk to them like Snoop Dogg, right? You just can't, right? You want to talk to mom like a mom or like another mom, or ideally you want to find an identity that you're gonna communicate to them that not only matches them, but has a little bit of authority. Like moms probably um, feel doctors are have some authority, or Oprah or whatever. So and if you notice, the doctor has a very specific mock-up, and Oprah has a specific way of talking, and these are different identity traits that you want to be able to discuss and speak to your audience. Does that make sense? Just let me know in chat if I'm making sense of what I'm saying. Oh, okay, good. So since it doesn't have a personality by default, there's two ways you can do this. One is you can use an identity finder, like what we would have as a custom GPT in Ignite, saying like, "Hey, this is my avatar. What voice would be best?" Or you're going to use your own voice, like I'm going to show how I do mine for my newsletter. You just show it and you give it um, examples of what you want. Examples of, let's say, there's copywriters that you like, it's not your own voice, um, different things that you know that's going to resonate to it, and feed it emails, social posts, sales pages, and let it study, word choice, the vibe, and then it can mimic it really well. In fact, you'll find that it, oh, got it, Russell. Anyway, you'll find that you got it very well. Um, and be able to do that. Anyway, so that's your second thing. The third thing is that you're always relying on a first draft. Here's the secret. I mean, listen, let me ask you a question. I'll go back further. When you write something, do you send it out and just the way you write it, or do you actually go ahead and edit and go and refine it? You know, um, yeah, revise and refine. Why would you think that AI would get the first draft right? So don't be lazy about this. Push back on the AI and, say, that you have to do better, how you refine a prompt. Your quality will go way up if you say, "Yeah, this is good, this is not good, I want you to rewrite this, blah, 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 blah." And if you do that, like you would do with your own stuff, and you'll find that it'll come out better. And it's really interesting because probably the best, AI is actually a great editor, better editor than you'll ever see anywhere else. So there you go. So that would be the thing to know about. So anyway, so you're relying on the first draft, yeah, the first draft is usually, crap. So, if you push it and you ask questions and you refine the prompt, quality will go way up. And most people just don't do that. It takes first draft and that's that. So my three-step process to humanize or make AI copy sound human. So this is how to fix it. It's three steps and it's simple as hell. First is load the context. Before you ask AI to write anything, who's the audience? What's their current situation, their pain, their frustration, their fear? What's the outcome you're promising? You want to not only know about your audience, but you want to know what they feel with regard to what it is that your service or your product, and what is the unique mechanism approach for that. The more context you give it up front, the better the outcome. So I usually drop in target market research, product details, desired outcomes, and tone and voice guidelines. And I do this before asking for it to write a single word. Now, I'm going to make a comment here on AI models. I find that Claude is a better writer than ChatGPT, and Eni agrees. Uh, so there you go. But yeah, so you can do it in ChatGPT and you get an okay result. I just think that with creative stuff, Claude is a bit better. So but you don't have as many tools with Claude as you do with ChatGPT. So it really depends on what you're going to do here and how that works. Sorry, Edie does this with my screen and I think. And see what I'm showing you. You see it better than I do. So I can't throw cat ass. Anyway, so there you go. But that's the thing to do here. And then you train it on the voice. And like I said, you feed it examples of what emails, um, you know, transcripts of them talking, social posts, sales posts, whatever. Or if you're creating an identity that speaks to a particular avatar, you would give it as much context and much information as you could, just as you have an avatar of an individual who you're speaking to, you would also have an avatar of the person who's speaking to that person because you would have, and they would have personality traits and things about them and whatnot. So, how do they structure sentences? What use words are they more likely to use? Their rhythm, humor, quirks, and then it writes, and then it sounds like them, not like a robot. It's as simple as that. So then you iterate and refine. So you ask to make it punchier or add more emotion or rewrite the opening, push it, refine it, make it better. Usually go through 2 rounds before the result is a copy that actually works. So don't accept your first draft. There you go. Sorry. All right. Beautiful. All right. So let's do a little live demo, and I'm gonna show you, enough theory. So let me show how it actually works. I was gonna do a random product, but actually, since we're time constrained, I'm gonna use my audience. So what I did for my agency insider news, and that is an agency of of uh, a newsletter for agencies, agency owners, $0 to $3 million a year. And you can see, I actually put my research into a document that what it makes it easier for me to see. But this is where they have problems or workforce burnout, pricing and profitability problems, video content, industry consolidation and layoffs, and the whole methodology. So I did a whole bunch of stuff to put this all together and challenge categories. So what I did here is I'm going to use Claude to begin with. And I just started this. I created in Claude. I created a project, and I uploaded. I have 2 websites that I put all this information. And it gives me a little bit of information on each of them. And then I gave them examples of my newsletter. And if you want to take a look, we can go here. It's let's just go Agency Insider News. Yeah. And um, these are my newsletters. Uh, and this is what I write. I mean, you can see it's very casual, but fun, and whatnot. And so I fed a whole bunch of those. In. So this is what it says about my voice. Attention grabbing headlines, profit promising specific outcomes. Tells me about my audience. And so now help me write an email to invite to a webinar that will help them save time. And that, I mean, this is very, very quick way to do this. I'm sorry about the cat in the background. And while it's doing that, it's going to do that. I'm going to show you. It gives me subject line on. Oh, this is really actually not bad from the get go, but we'll look through it. And just so you know, I'm gonna give you uh, some voice prompts here. If you want to do this without that, you want to, and you don't have all of that stuff. You want a world crazy copywriter help me write email, social posts, whatever for this product, target audience, product or service, the voice training from what you want to get after the context, and refining prompts. I would share this with you guys because I'm just that kind of person. Anyway, so that'll help you a bit. Anyway, so let's see what we got here. So look at this. Last Tuesday at 2 a.m., I got an email from an agency owner. I worked 73 hours this week. My team is burned out. I can't remember the last time I took a full weekend off and still behind on my work. Sound familiar? Here's the thing that nobody talks about. You're not actually busy. You're actually just doing data is brutal. This is all from the research. Okay. 45% of agency owners spend their time on tasks that could be automated. The average agency owner wastes 20 plus hours a week on work that they shouldn't require their brain. 87% report increased workload, but most of it is self-inflicted. I'm hosting a free webinar where I'm going to show you exactly, right? And then this is actually pretty good. But I'm gonna push back a little bit and say, um, okay, this is good, but I want a little more sarcastic. Spells if I could spell. Let's let it do that. While it's doing that, we're gonna look at our next slide. Anyway, so I just want you to be clear on understanding the magic in any of this stuff we just didn't do was not the AI. It's how you guide it. Does that make sense to everybody? Oh, yes, sense, yes, no, maybe? Okay, good.
You're
Alright, let
saying
okay, good. Alright. Uh, so it's adding sarcastic humor here. Let's see if it did it here. These are good subject lines. The 15-hour work week is possible, and I can prove it. Stop trading time for money seriously. I found where your 20 hours a week are hiding. That's a good one. So, so you know, it sounds familiar. You're not busy. You're just doing the work. Data is brutal. Okay. Ah, it's even doing the additional ones here. Anyway, it's still doing this. While it's doing that, um, I want to open it up to questions because we're running out of time. So I mean, we'll see the exact result, but this is what we were talking about. So, um, our last couple of minutes, tell me if there's any questions that you guys have.
thank you, Laura, for that wonderful presentation today. We've got Kenneth. Kenneth, what's your question?
Oh,
Hi, Laura. How you doing?
hey, Ken, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Good to be
Awesome,
here this morning.
awesome.
And I my question concerns grant writing. I'm working in the nonprofit sector. I'm trying to automate the grant writing process, but also understands that there are safeguards if you submit AI generated grant proposal, they are sniffing it out. So do you have any ways to
Oh,
I
well,
I
I think
I understand there has to be a human element in here, but what would you recommend for that?
well, I would just take the output and I would you know, first of all, I would verify it, right? Because AI can be wrong. And I mean, I think that's where the problem really is that she, sorry, she wants to say hello real quick. And then
Hey,
Hello.
but so I would take the output that you have and I would human edit. I would do it backwards. I would go through it and make human edits on it to make sure that you know what I mean. To make sure that it's exactly what you need. Especially if
You
you're
know,
talking about a grant. I mean, it's valuable, and you don't want to. It's like the attorneys who went ahead and filed us a brief, and they didn't check that the case law that was being quoted was not real. I mean, that's
yeah.
happened. So that would be my thing. And I would also move from like, especially when I'm looking at fact checking, like I would take some of my output and I would put it in complexity and say, fact check this. Right. So I have another way of going, another way of doing that. You know what I mean? Like you want to. I mean, I'm fluid. I go from complexity to Claude to ChatGPT. Sometimes I even use Poe so that I have and Mana. So I mean, each one has its advantages. Like I said, for creative writing, I think that Claude has got it. That's just it.
I saw someone that said they scrub it through, start with chat, go through Claude, end it with perplexity. Do you have any workflow as far as scrubbing, you know, a grant writing content? Any thoughts on that?
You know, I come from the music business, so I kind of chat. So I mean, I do know that I fact check. I always fact check something like perplexity because it's just gotten more. I mean, now ChatGPT and Claude can read the net, but still perplexity was the one first.
Okay.
And somebody here said strip Unicode, M dashes and whatnot, from the and you should, I mean, it's funny. I always use M dashes prior to this. That's supposed to be
Yeah.
like a fine. I mean, there are also services that will tell you if it's AI or not. I forget. I used to use a few of them, but then when I started writing in my own voice, it was always fine. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think you're spot on in saying that um, we we want to get lazy with AI.
Yeah,
You know,
right. And it's
and,
easy. And it's
but
easy to
we
do.
should see AI as a tool
Yeah.
to to speed up our work, but not replace our work.
Well, I mean, if you had somebody working for you, wouldn't you check over what they're doing before you give it to the client? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
and I have gotten upset with ChatGPT and actually said, I hire a human a couple times.
Yeah, I did that with Copilot. I was working with Copilot for a while, and I went off Copilot, and
Yeah,
now I don't use Copilot anymore. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You approach that, particularly if you want to train the AI
oh, yeah.
to enhance your abilities.
Yeah, I mean, and it's two things. It's like if you hired somebody who was really smart and you said, "Just do your job," and you didn't tell them what the job is, you'd get crappy output. Just
Yeah,
just the I mean, so now you've got somebody who's smart. And this is the thing. AI will never break up with his girlfriend and come to work hungover the next day. It'll work at night, it'll work on the weekend. It'll never give you any crap like that. Although, it has its moments. And I still say please and thank you, just in case, but it's all
you're right.
good. Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Any questions, guys?
We've got Jane Ferry.
Laura, thank you.
You can worries. What can I do for you?
Do you ever use any kind of like I saw you had the Google Doc there with some cut and paste prompts. Do you ever think about putting that into like a JavaScript, click the button and it generates a prompt for you kind of thing? Or
I have
more,
some I have some pump makers and whatnot, but in that particular one, like I decided to do this like 10 o'clock last night. And so I put that presentation together, and had a full night. So um so that prompt comes from one of my bots. So I said, because I did the thing and I said, oh my God, I've got to give people the prompt for this. I write it for me, and that's how I got it. But yeah, I have my own system, but I use Microsoft Windows. I use Recall, which is like a it saves URLs and whatnot. So you can, so if you got, because there's always a new tool or this or that. And I don't know. I hit one of those that age where like what was that thing? That did what? So it kind of saves you on that. And there,
Have you found that generating these is good for like regular SEO content too, or is it mostly used for newsletters and social posts?
no, but you have to tell the AI that it's writing SEO optimized content, and you want to tell it what keywords and phrases that you want it to uh, work on and what. So there's that, and you should probably put more attention on AEO than SEO, and that has to do with optimizing for AI engines. And that has a lot to do with questions. Okay, it also has to do with having the right schema, a whole bunch of stuff, and there was a whole bunch of training that some of our members got just recently. But my opinion is that Google's going to become a shopping and ChatGPT is doing a pretty good job of even getting rid of that. But SEO, people are just going to AI. They're not going for their answers directly. Websites are going to become less valuable for that reason, in my opinion. But for now, just keep in mind that ChatGPT just signed a deal with with PayPal so that you'll be able to buy things directly and they hired a whole bunch of engineers out of Meta. So they're putting together an ads platform. That's how they're going to monetize this, just like the other ones. And I got to tell you, it's going to be scary, scary good and scary for humanity at the same time because you know I tell ChatGPT I didn't things I never told Google. I use a biohacking GPT that helps me, optimize what's going on in my body, right? So, you think that GPT doesn't suggest a product, I'm gonna buy it, and if I click on it, buy it right then, So, Jojo, it's the engineers are with OpenAI for ChatGPT. So anyway, so I'm saying, so that's the play that's gonna happen. And
Gotcha.
and, uh, and
Thank
and yeah, and I think it's great. I think it's scary. Like as an advertiser, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing," but not so much. You know. So there you go. Somebody said I should create cat GPT. Who says I didn't? Anyway,
And
so there we
speaking
go.
of ChatGPT, Laura, just a reminder to James and everyone, very thought is that we want to have a different ChatGPT for creating newsletters, for creating SEO content. Because creating one distinct ChatGPT to do what will make it give us a better output.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's why it's nice to have projects. So
Mhm.
I have clients, right? So I keep separate folders with client information, and so I can go in and you know and it definitely
We've got
cool.
Candy Marketing Store.
Hi, Laura. Thanks for this presentation. I just had a quick question about the newsletter.
Sure.
What was the site that you used for the newsletter sign up or
Oh,
platform?
okay. So the front end that you see, like 40,000, whatever,
Mhm.
that is actually in Go Ahead. It's
Oh,
a that I have. But the newsletter itself is on Beehive.
oh, nice. Okay. Thanks so much. Thanks for the
Well,
presentation.
yeah, you're welcome.
Anybody else have a question?
I have not seen the cat translator app, but I will look for it. Oh, link to the newsletter is
Yeah, do you want to share your
yeah,
Yes, the better to the AI Morning Club. That would be Agency Insider, that news.
yeah. Oh, how do you connect Beehive and Go Ahead Level? Um, you use a bridge like something like Zapier, or you can use Pabbly. It's Gen, any of these things. It's so easy to create a handshake, uh, and data and automate and whatnot. There's some guys in like our local Ignite chapter. There's one guy who's just amazing at making things talk to each other. But yeah, it's pretty easy. Just say, I want this information to go here. Yep. Oh, and Shmura pointed out there's a training on it in Ignite. Yes. And I think Beehive does have an Beehive. Cool. Awesome.
Speaking of Ignite, we've got some wisdom from our Ignite fam on the chat. Thank you, MJ, for he suggested to Kenneth to try loading more copywriting tools into your configuration. It will help with your content as well as in Elizabeth. He said take several of their previous proposals, put those in the project and cite them as the talent tool you will produce.
Yeah, projects are great like that. I created a copywriter mastermind where I did deep research on a whole bunch of this is something I learned from Perry on a whole bunch of copywriters, and then I have them fight over improving copy, which is also fun. But we only have a short period of time on these calls, so we go as far as we can.
Thank you so much, Laura, for taking us as far as you can, even with the short notice and short time that we have. This is a great way to end our weekend. AI
Yeah.
Morning Club. Or do you have any last words for our AI Morning Club before we end?
Oh, just that, I love you guys, okay? I mean, I would do whatever I can to help any of you. So you need to just reach out.
We love you too, Laura. AI Morning Club, we love you. And thank you for making this week a productive and fun week. We will see you next week, Monday to Friday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye. Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
Laura. Thank you, everyone.
Recording stop.